Sorry guys, my last video got cut off, but I was gonna continue. So I really started thinking in my head like the world is just like full of sociopaths and they're all just like manipulating and they're like robotic. Like nobody believes me about what I'm trying to tell them about my daughter. Um, Even the police, the doctors, like, no, nothing happened. The officers, like, telling me I'm the problem when I'm already, like, severely traumatized. As I've grown into this, I've realized there are a lot of sociopaths in the world, sadly. There are a lot of people, they've been mind programmed in our society just to like accept certain things or like put the blame on people, which is really sick. But there are a lot of good people in the world that have a heart. I know I do. And I care about, children and protecting children, not just mine. Um, I was 16 when I had my daughter, and my daughter, who's now 18, had a baby when she was also 16, so I'm a super young grandma. I'm 34, and I have a beautiful little granddaughter named Treasure. She is a treasure. She's so fun and just beautiful, and she's mixed, black and white, and she's just so gorgeous and so, like, so fun to be with. Anyway, so I really have a heart for children and just, like, protecting my family, protecting, if someone else's kids are in my care, in my eyesight, at the park or anywhere, I I am Mama Bear. I don't mess around with, like, abusive situations or something, like, but, so that's how I found out there was abuse in my family. It was horrifying, and so that began this pushing out of my family, the discard that, like, if you know about narcissistic relationships, this is like a narcissistic family system. So they all were conditioned and brainwashed by the abusers. They had become abusers themselves, or they were just so used to blocking it all out because they've done it since they were a child. It's like generational. They had become so used to this that they all they were terrified. They hated when I spoke about any of this going on. It was like, nope, don't talk about it, without actually saying that. But they would, put me down, say I'm crazy, say, why don't you look at the positive things about your family? Why are you so negative? Why are you so hateful? Why are you so argumentative? Why are you so mad all the time? And it's like it becomes this scapegoating thing on the victim, like it's your fault that other family members are sick and horrible, and it's like, no, it's not. And at that time I was young and I believed it, and it looked even worse because I like left, bounced around. I couldn't have any stability. I had no money. I could barely like afford anything anywhere I went. So I ended up back at my grandparents with all my family, and just like maybe I was wrong. Like maybe this didn't happen because I didn't know what to do. I couldn't take care of myself. I was conditioned also to just like, we all help each other out. We all do this. And I didn't know how to handle someone being an abuser. I didn't know how to get away. Much like a lot of people in abusive marriages, or, it's like okay, I committed and this and that, and I've been doing this for years, and now they're like giving me black eyes or this or that. How do I get out? And it's like, it's not that easy, you guys. People are just like, oh, weird. Like, she just stays with him and puts up with all that. Like, she must really hate herself or not love. And it's like, you don't really know any better. You're taught this from a little child. Like, think of an innocent little child. They don't understand certain things. And in a way, when you grow up with that, you keep that brain. It doesn't grow in certain ways. You have that child like, oh, this is what I deserve. This is what I'm used to. So, it must be normal. Wherever else I go, it's going to happen too. That's another thing. I just thought, like, wherever I go, it happens anyway. And that's because you give off these vibes that, like, you tolerate that. And people can sense it. People know from the way you talk, the way you act, you are attracting those abusive like people or these naive people that don't want to look at the problem. They will also like keep conditioning you to believe lies. And so a big thing that had me wake up from this all, and like, my family was already pushing me out, but when Jesus found me, I want to say when I found Jesus, but Jesus actually found me. I was in the occult and practicing witchcraft and even worshiping Lucifer, but I'll get into that. I have a testimony on my page about that. But Jesus is the truth, and he started showing me the truth and like things that I was blocking that were like, this is not who you are. I've made you to be more, and you're special, and you're not just a scapegoat. You're not just a person to put all the blame. They're doing this to you because you're seeing the truth, and God chose me from the womb. He knew me and my daughter would see the truth. And it's funny because when I was pregnant with my daughter, my aunt had told me she saw some Christian program, and they were talking about a young girl who was pregnant, and they were like, just please don't get rid of the baby. You have to keep this baby because she's gonna change your life. And my aunt told me that for some reason, wanted to share that with me. And even if it was all made up or whatever, she just wanted me to keep the baby, or the program was like, the message got to me, and it was like, I believe that God sent me that message that my daughter was gonna change my whole life. She changed everything because she taught me what loving myself was, and she helped me realize what was going on in my family was not okay. I accepted it for myself and let myself get beaten down, but when I saw my daughter abused and tormented by them, like them calling her names when we were young, they would call her evil and just this and that and worthless, and I'm like, no wonder I'm so messed up. Like, I grew up around all this bullshit of like all these lies of myself, and I still struggle with this in my head, like, you're no good, you're this, you're that. And I wonder sometimes, and now, with my with knowing God and waking up, I start to realize when I'm having those thoughts, it's the enemy. It's like those things are implanted from evil people that don't want me, because God chose me from birth. I'm special, I'm loved, I'm His, and I know so are a lot of you watching this. There's something special about you, and God chose us. And these evil people see that from even since we were born. They want to beat us down and cause us to not have a voice. And that's part of why I came on here to make these videos. We do have a voice, and God has been prompting me to just share, be vulnerable and share my life. I've just feel like I'm meant to just produce some videos and that are going to help people. And I'm like, what do I talk about? Like, open my Bible. What's this verse saying? And like, which I love to do. But God's like, just tell your story. And I saw a quote. I was reading a book on sexual abuse this morning, which started this whole thing. And it was like, there's nothing more tormenting or like painful than holding a story that needs to be told inside of you. And I was like, that's it. I need to tell my story, and I'm going to continue telling my story in pieces and as things come up that I know need to be told, because there's a lot of people going through sexual abuse. And I know when I discovered this about my family, you feel so alone. And I just like was looking for websites and pages of like other people who would understand me and who knew how it felt. Like, it's so horrifying. It's like I said, I felt like the whole world was a robot. Like, do you know how bad that feels? Like, I'm the only real alive person with a heart, and everything else is a mechanical. But it doesn't have to be like that. There's others of us that are awake that see these things going on in our families. And if you see these things, God has opened your eyes to see this. It's not an accident, and you are special, and He is trying to wake up others through you. He wants us to know truth, and like the Bible says, the truth shall set you free. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. The truth frees us. It might feel just horrible at first, but there's hope, and there's great love. There's a family of people, a new family of people like you. And maybe you're still in that family, maybe you're not ready to leave your family, and I understand that. Like I said, I couldn't leave my family for years. I stayed in it, and then people blame me like, oh, how are you saying this about the family when you still stay there? So like, I get all these things, why you do, and why it's hard to leave, it's hard to separate. And just know that I'm here for support, or if you have any questions or anything. Like I said, my daughter's 18 now. I found this out when my daughter was 4. So many years ago, I've been studying books on sexual abuse, on narcissists, on toxic family systems, all this stuff. And I have a pretty wide knowledge. I can answer many questions that I once was just like searching for answers. So if you need support or just encouragement, answers to any kind of questions, I'm here for you. I'll do the best I can. I don't know everything, of course. None of us ever do. But I just would love for you to like introduce yourself to me in the comments, or just write whatever you, if this encouraged you, just write in the comments, and just, blessings on your journey with this. There is healing, there's hope. Things actually end up better for us than these abusers and different things once you wake up, and you might be struggling going through hell. But I think it was Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. And I just want to tell you, there's light at the end of that deep, dark tunnel. There's a very bright light, and it leads to beauty and peace and just so many good things for you, so many blessings on the other side. Like, you can't even imagine how amazing it is. So I hope this encouraged you today, and hope it encourages you to just open up. Be careful opening up to the wrong people too. Don't share too quickly if you don't feel it on your heart to share. Like I said, it's been years, and I am just now opening up because I'm in a spot where I'm healed. Not perfectly, completely, but I've gone through a major healing process. I've separated myself from toxic family. I do not go around people that shut me down or ignore what I have to say. I defend myself, my family, the people I love, and I tell the truth regardless of who wants to believe it. If they want me to go away, I do, and I stay away. And so I've just learned a lot, and I hope I could share that with you. Have a great day, okay?